While the countries of the West support Ukraine in its fight against Russian aggression, from humanitarian aid to the supply of weapons, the state of the Global South continue to take a neutral position. Because of Russia's influence, enlisting their support is not an easy task. According to Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, the situation in the Global South requires increased constant diplomatic attention.
The Global South. I think the picture that the West stands by Ukraine and the rest doesn't is inaccurate. If you look at the results of the latest resolution adopted in October 2022, we got 143 votes. And many countries of of what is called Global South voted in favor of that resolution. So the situation in the Global South is nuanced. It's not black and white. But you're right, more needs to be done to engage with the Global South.
A breakthrough in relations with the Global South for Ukraine was the visit of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to Kyiv for the first time in 30 years. In addition, earlier Saudi Arabia voted for the resolution of the UN General Assembly on sustainable peace in Ukraine.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia would like to do everything possible to reduce the intensity of hostilities. As you know, any war ends with negotiations, but of course all this should be under the auspice of the UN. With respect for international law, we will continue to do everything to strengthen bilateral cooperation. What can be considered Ukraine's success? For those General Assembly resolutions that are passed in support of Ukraine, several have already been passed, yet there are very few countries that are against it, even among the Global South.
Russia's long-standing partners are gradually retreating from the policy of loyalty. In India, during an international conference, scientists, diplomats and businessmen in the audience reacted with laughter and cries of disagreement to Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov's statement that Russia did not start the war in Ukraine, but on the contrary is trying to stop it.
The war which we are trying to stop and which was launched against us using Ukrainian people.
Lavrov has been traveling a lot in Asia, Africa and the Middle East lately, trying to advance the Russian agenda. At the same time, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz pays special attention to this region. According to experts, both the West and Russia are gathering allies from countries that were considered non-aligned during the Cold War and today are united under the general term the Global South. Among them, India, Latin America and South Africa.
We need the help from our Western partners, and that's what Scholz does. He does a great job. He returned from India, where he was also on a two-day visit and where he discussed the issue of the Russian-Ukrainian war with the Prime Minister of India and asked that the war finally be called a war, in spite of any neutrality.
The theme of Russia's war against Ukraine during the recent talks in India between the foreign ministers of the G20 countries caused controversy. But at the end of the meeting, only China and Russia refused to sign a resolution condemning Russian aggression.
The power of the Global South is so great that even small gradations of positions are very important. That is, either a full arms embargo against Russia will be enforced or it will not. Whether Russian energy price caps will be respected or not, a lot depends on this. But nevertheless, we should not expect any strong support for Russia from these countries. Rather, they are looking at China.
Kyiv also hopes for a dialogue with Beijing. This was stated by the President of Ukraine. However, in response to the proposal of Volodymyr Zelensky to meet with Xi Jinping, the Chinese Foreign Ministry replied China has always kept in touch with all the parties, including Ukraine. Reported by Sergei Kulyas, Kristina Dombrovska, UATV News.